Hi, welcome to my workshop. Today we're going to do bubble photography. The first thing that you need for bubble photography is the bubble solution. To make the solution, what you need is 1 cup of distilled water, 2 tablespoons of dishwashing liquid, 1 tablespoon of glycerin, and I've actually got a bottle here of glycerol and I bought that from the pharmacy, so you should be able to get this from the pharmacy. I'm not too sure whether you'll be able to get it from the supermarket, so go to a pharmacy and just ask for glycerol. And you need 1 tablespoon of corn syrup, but I couldn't find corn syrup in New Zealand, so the equivalent is what they call glucose syrup, and you'll be able to get that from the supermarket. So once you've got all your ingredients, mix it all together thoroughly and then leave it to sit for 24 to 48 hours. In doing that, it allows the mixture to bind together and then you'll get really good bubbles. The other things you need is a straw so that you can blow the bubbles, and you need a lid of some sort. So what I've got is a black lid here, and make sure that it's got a nice flat surface, and then what you do is you blow your bubble on top of that. If you want, you could find a transparent lid and blow your bubble there, and you could put the light underneath, and sometimes it can give a good effect as well. The other thing that you need is a softbox. So I've got a softbox here where I've got a continuous light. What's good about having a continuous light is that you'll be able to see what the bubble looks like and then be able to take the photo accordingly. If you use a flash, it makes it a little bit more difficult. It's not impossible, but it makes it a little bit difficult because you can't actually see what it looks like until the flash flashes. So continuous light is the best solution, and if you've got a softbox where you can put a continuous light in, all the better. And also what you need is a diffuser over here as well. Okay, and I'll show you the reason why later. The reason why I haven't got a diffuser on my softbox is that I use this opaque perspex. So this gives me a slightly better consistency when you actually take the photo, because that sits on top and then your bubble sits underneath, and it just gives a more uniform look. The other thing that you would need is a tripod, and the last thing you need obviously is your camera. The one I use, and what I prefer to use, is the mirrorless camera. The reason why is that what you see is what you get, so you can play around with the settings and be able to see what it looks like before you take the photo. What's good about that is that if you're taking a video of your bubble, then you'll be able to see what it looks like before you actually start videoing. The settings I use for my camera is ISO 1000, f11 and 1/60th of a second. Anything less than 1/60th, you'll find that you might get a slight shake or slight blurriness when you actually take the photo of the bubbles. So I would recommend you set it to 1/60th or higher. And then if you need to add more light, then you need to increase the ISO. So let's get to it. Okay, so here is my setup. You only need a small place. If you want to, you can do it in your dining room table. Set it up there. What you need is a black board underneath or a black cloth. And I've put on top just a little stand, but it's whatever that you can find. And then I put my lid on top. The background needs to be a black background. Now I've put these up here so that it can hold my perspex up for me, like so. And then I've got my softbox, and that sits on top, like so. And then I can switch on the light. What I find is that if you wet the surface of what you're going to blow your bubble on, it'll help the bubble not to burst. Like that. Then you can take your photo. Now when you take your photo, you can slant it slightly so that you're taking the photo up a little bit, and that'll give you a great shot from that perspective. You can go side on as well. Some of the mistakes that I've made while I'm experimenting taking the photos of these bubbles. I do have a couple of external light sources that I've tried with the softbox on top. The light source that I've used is on either side of the bubble, and unfortunately you'll notice that there's the light showing on the bubble. You've got to be very careful with bubbles because they reflect light. So in my example you can actually see my light source reflecting on the bubble. On the subject of reflections, what I have noticed when I was experimenting was that if you had a lid that's white on the inside and the rim is black, what you will find is that the bubble will actually reflect whatever that it's sitting on, and so you've got the black rim around it. So what happened with some of my images is that it reflected the black rim with the white on the inside, which is not really ideal. So the way to fix that is obviously to flip the lid so that you've got a black lid and that's it, and the black doesn't reflect back. One thing I haven't done was to actually try different gel colours. That should give you quite a cool effect, I'd say, but do experiment with that. I haven't tried it yet, although in saying that, I did have a slight tinge of yellow in one of my images, and that produced sort of a goldy colour on my bubble. So give that a go and see what effects you get. So that's all the information that you need to get started. So go to it, make your bubble solution and give it a go. It's just heaps of fun and you get beautiful photos out of the bubbles.